What kind of complaints are you hearing?
We've had a number of calls to our outreach line from credit unions and banks asking if we can come and remove people from the ATM vestibules. We had a call the other day from Goulet Manor, so from different buildings over here, complaining that there are people hanging out in the hallways and wondering if we can come and help move people along. So, unfortunately, this is what can be expected when the city implements a ban, but actually doesn't have a plan to manage what the impacts are going to be to those most affected, which will be those that are living unsheltered.
Marion, so you said that this is a glimpse of what's to come. How do you know that?
Well, we do know that. I mean, we've been doing this for 10 years. Anybody who does outreach knows that, in fact, we should all understand that, the people who are struggling with homelessness are human beings like the rest of us. They have the same basic needs as the rest of us. They all seek shelter, they all seek safety and warmth and food and clothing and all of those things. While I do not support encampment living, I don't think it's good for anybody. I certainly don't support the ban in its current form either, because it's basically taking people who are already living in the margins of life and pushing them even further into the margins. So without their encampments, that was their shelter and where they kept their personal possessions. Once that is taken away, basically you have people out there now, and it's survival of the fittest, and those folks will do whatever they have to do to survive.
Now, Marion, the encampment bylaws have been in place for about a month now. What are you hearing from the people that you directly help about the impact that this is having on them?
Well, the impact's huge. I mean, fortunately, we proactively planned for this. And so we've housed upwards of 30 people since mid-November. We've been working to secure housing through the private sector, which is where you will find housing to house people. But it is really impactful. I mean, people's encampments come down. They don't have the ability to pack up their possessions and tote them along with them somewhere. They basically lose everything that is important to them. What appears to be garbage to somebody else is often, those are possessions that are valued by the person that they belong to. So, I mean, it's horrible. And the other thing I'll say about this, is that we've had spring, we've had summer, we've had fall, to address the challenges with encampments. But once again, here we are. The snow is falling, the temperature's dropping. It's Christmas in a few weeks, and I have to wonder where the mercy is in all of this
Do you
during
think
this Christian holiday. I mean, yeah, and I think the city and others probably should be concerned about liabilities here, because this encampment ban is actually pushing people into a state of really feeling quite desperate.
are those people that are getting pushed out, Marion? Are they coming to you? Are they coming to St. Boniface Street Links?
They are. I think the greatest humanity I've seen in all of this has been from the community support unit of Winnipeg Police Service that actually has been picking up people, driving them over to 604 St. Mary's, pleading with us to help get these folks housed. And we have housed every person that they brought to us. People are walking over. They're coming over to 604 St. Mary's any way they can get there, because word on the street is that if you want to get housed, you're going to have to go to St. Boniface Street Links on St. Mary's Road.
I want to ask you this too. Do you think we're only at the start here of winter? We've got January, February to still go. Is our city are there the shelter system, is it set up to handle the amount of people that could possibly be coming in here, even though we're just at the start of winter?
Well, no. I mean, again, the city is executing a ban with no plan in place to support that ban. And so a plan would have meant, that Your Way Home would have assigned so many housing units. We work with the private sector. We would have assigned housing units, and Homelessness Winnipeg. They have their strategy. A plan would have seen a shared governance model that brought all of us together to identify resources that would move people from encampments into housing. We haven't done that. We've just taken away everybody's home. And for all intents and purposes, those are people's homes, whether we like it or not. I expect to see that we haven't improved public safety issues by doing this. We've enhanced public safety issues. I think that the worst is yet to come. And no, we haven't planned
So what,
this at all.
in your opinion, Marion, what needs to happen now to give the support that's needed this winter?
Well, I think that every organization should be out there and should be working with every single person in an encampment to link them to income supports and find housing. I think for now, I know that, the Your Way Home plan, looks for deeply affordable housing, is waiting for new builds to come online. You know what? We need to use what exists, and there is housing in the private sector. The province and the city both need to incentivize, provide some incentives to bring a greater response from the private sector, because the private sector does have housing, and they will house. If there's some supports, to address some of the challenges of housing high risk populations. I can tell you that we currently have vacancies within our housing network. So there's housing out there. The other piece of this, and I'm going to say this, is that yesterday we were brought a senior woman who's been living in her car for a whole month. She's not a senior woman who was born into poverty. Circumstances caused her to lose her housing. She's a senior in her car for a whole month. She was brought to us. She was also an Indigenous woman. She was brought to us because she didn't meet anybody's criteria to be housed within current programs. She hadn't been homeless for 6 of the last 12 months. There's so much that needs to change here. We have a crisis. We're a city that is a part of a national crisis. The drug use epidemic, the housing crisis, mental health, all the justice issues are all interrelated. Nationally, we need a strategy to address this. The provinces cannot do this on their own, but we should all feel obligated to be out there and to be connecting with every single person that is living unsheltered, do the work to link them to income supports, and do the work to find them housing, because there is a way to house people. It might not be subsidized housing, might not be deeply affordable housing, but it's housing, and it's a whole lot safer for everybody. And much more humane than leaving people outside. These are not animals, these are human beings. As we enter this Christmas season, I ask, every level of government, where's the charity in the season? Where's the mercy?
Marion, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
Marion Willis from Boniface Street Links.